We are at the Granite Club with Margaret Steed. Margaret is a past president of the Granite Club, and she joined the golf club with her husband, and she's been obviously very actively involved in the golf rapport with the Granite Club in the initial stages. So, Margaret, what are your memories? This is our 20th anniversary.
My memories are of what a wonderful community Granite Golf is. I joined because I met so many wonderful members in the golf dome here at the Granite Club, and they had all welcomed me with open arms up at the golf club.
Well, we are lucky to have you as a member and lucky to have had you representing the golf club at the Granite Club. Thank you for your involvement, and we look forward to trophies with your name on it.
Me too.
Inga Toy, Granite Club President, 2002, founding golf member with her husband, Hans, a chair at many a golf meeting, and a significant contributor. Inga, what is your memory bank?
Thanks, Skip. I have fond memories of Granite Golf when the clubhouse was a trailer and only 6 holes were open. My husband Ans and I were novice golfers, and our game developed along with the club. My favorite event was night golf. The skies were lit with stars, the torches were lit, and the balls glowed in the dark. It was relaxed and a lot of fun. My husband and I also often played early evenings. Another favorite time, especially in the early days when we'd often have the golf club or the golf course to ourselves. The fairways and the greens were beautiful. My husband spent a lot of time in the woods looking for his ball, so out of bounds actually, in our golf terminology, became the library, which is what John Wetmore, another member, called it. So you put 1 ball in and you generally borrow 2 balls for play until you lost those 2, and then you go in again. Was lucky that the club wasn't terribly busy in the early evenings, because I think most of my time was waiting on the fairway while my husband searched for balls. The camaraderie of the members, the friendliness and support of members and staff were what made Granite Golf and embodied the values of Granite Club. So my hope for future members and current members is that they make wonderful memories of this special club too.
Yes. Inga, very well stated. And if Inga did that with a piano, because she's a concert pianist, it would have even been a better response, but most eloquent. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Bob Torrance, president of the Granite Club in 1995, a founding member of the Granite Club, chaired many a committee that made the Granite Golf possible, and he chaired the meeting in establishing the bylaws for Granite Golf, bylaw number 1. Bob, have you got any special recollections?
Well, Skipper, I guess for me, really it was the thrill of creation that made Granite Golf special. You know, building something from the ground up, but of course, it took even God 7 days for the creation, and the creation of Granite Golf when it didn't happen all at once. I remember when the club opened, I think it was 2000, we didn't have a clubhouse. We were in trailers, and that was sort of living it rough. I know my wife Sherry always remembers the fact that the toilets in the trailers, the women's trailer, didn't always function, so it was a bit rough at the start. But once the clubhouse did get created, it was a magnificent thing. They did a fantastic job of that. But also, when the club opened, the first 5 holes weren't in operation. So we started off playing on number 6 as the first hole. And for those who have played the course, they know that number 6 is fairly narrow with woods on both sides. So it was a challenge to tee off when you're still not quite warmed up. A challenge to tee off from number 6. So those are the things that I particularly remember. But it was the creation of the club that to me was really important, creating something of whole cloth from nothing to start with. And I'm always proud and happy to have been a part of that exercise.
Well, you were a very important part, and you were a supporter enthusiastically, and a legal supporter especially. Thank you, Bob Torrance.
You're welcome. Thank you, Skipper.
We are now introducing the famous John Trist, a member of the development team, a critical member of the development team, finance and engineering. John, did you actually install this bridge?
No, we just helped them get it organized, Skip. It was, everybody thought they were going to be able to just have a little walking bridge across the river down below, but our friends at the TRC made us build this bridge, which was an extra $100,000 that nobody had budgeted for. But it was, the topping on this is very interesting, is that we put an asphalt topping on top of the wood structure here. And so we protected the wood base, and it was, and we had this crane, big crane set up just off the back of the archaeological area up here to lift it in one step.
What time of year was it?
We probably put this in probably in September, August, late August.
Well,
this is all one piece. Eagle Bridge comes in one piece. What, 50 footer? So yeah.
well, terrific, and it was a great savings to the club. Did you ever get a credit on your account for the savings?
Just like you, Skip.
So here we are. We welcome John Trist, engineer. John, that is a gorgeous cedar rail fence behind you.
Your wife loves it.
John, did this cedar fence come in on budget?
What budget?
Well, that's right. I think the club is still looking for the budget for this cedar rail fence.
We took all the money that you had and used it for the golf course. A wise investment.
It's a great fence. Thank you, John Trist.
So we welcome Bob Hutchison. He was the supplier of our bunker sand. He is the head of a very resourceful and entrepreneurial family, a very talented athlete. At age 93, he's on his way to Yellowstone to do deep powder. So he's quite a special individual, and he very honorably monitored our sand situation, making sure that the specifications were correct and changed them when necessary. So Bob, thank you for your contribution to Granite Golf.
Well, it's been wonderful. We've always been delighted to work with such good professionals as the Granite past and current staff. For their knowledge and their cooperation, and the cooperation of Con McBroom, who was your architect, you've helped us learn a lot that has been useful to both of us. And perfection, of course, is our joint aim. It may be of interest to your members that through working with your superintendent, other superintendents of Ontario, we've learned about a lot of different sand products.
So how many different products do you have?
We have over 120 now.
Oh, wow.
It's fun to know that we ship bunkers, sand products to build a golf course in the desert in Dubai.
From Huntsville. Is this all from Huntsville?
So that was from Huntsville. We've learned how to make other products like beach volleyball sand, which we've shipped beach volleyball sand in various places in the world. We've manufactured it in places in the world. And we've done it for the Olympics in Beijing, England, Greece, Brazil, and they're making working with good people like yours, and we have made products that are successful all over the world. You were part of our training ground. And I kid you when I say that you have trained me, or trained us, to be experts in dirt. And of course, we hope to be of use to you in the future. So.
Well, we know that Hutch has been well known as a specialist in dirt. Is that correct?
And that's right, exactly. All kinds. Don't tell my wife.
Before we sign,
but I don't have one.
before we sign off, amongst many honors, you've received the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal in 2012. And Bob, we've been very fortunate to have you working with us, and thank you very much.
Well, you've helped us a great deal, and you've got great staff. I just have to say that again, because they've helped us a lot. Good. Thank you, and it's nice to know you. It's great.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Hold.
And we are now talking to Ray Ferreira. Are we in Atlanta, Georgia?
No, to Fusky Island, South Carolina.
Well, man, that's where we all would like to be right now during our COVID-19 test here. In 1995, Dr. Ray Ferreira came to the Granite Club to do some surveys. He made a huge contribution to the growth of our membership at the Granite Club. And again, one of the components was the golf club. And he did surveys for the golf club as we proceeded. He also introduced us to the Cherokee Town and Country Club in Buckhead in Georgia. And they have both a golf course and a town club. And it was very comparable to the Granite Club situation. So Ray, have you got any special memories of that period?
Oh, hi, Skip. Yes, I have great fond memories. It was really a pleasure being involved in the initial concept and development of Granite Golf. As you mentioned, we completed membership surveys with Granite Club members at the time, as well as a demographic analysis to determine the feasibility for developing a golf club. I will say that Granite Club's board strategically had a vision that there was demand in the Toronto metropolitan area for a family-oriented golf club. And the Granite Club's financial strength at the time allowed it easily to raise funds to both purchase and build the Granite Golf Club. The club, as you know, did look at multiple locations to build over a number of years before selecting its current location. There was a lot of synergy with the joint venture between the Granite Golf and Granite Club. The results from the Granite Club membership surveys indicated that many members at the Granite Club supported having a golf club. The family orientation with state-of-the-art programs and activities is a foundation for both clubs over the past 2 decades. This relationship, in my opinion, has permitted both clubs to prosper and to become the great clubs that they are today.
Well, thank you. Your observations now and your observations in the past were critical to our success, and we thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
So, here we are with a gentleman who many of us don't know, but this gentleman is Ian Gray. Ian is the owner of those 3 silos. 3 silos or 5 silos?
There's 9 of them.
9 silos at the end of the first hole. So he also was the owner of the property where our second hole is in some of the wetlands. And he and Paul Lavelle negotiated a transaction which we required for that hole. And we needed to borrow some land from their property. So Ian, tell us about it. Was it a good transaction?
It was a very easy, uneventful transaction. Paul Lavelle was just a perfect gentleman to deal with. He had done all his homework, and it was over and done with within minutes. And we were very happy to have contributed in that way. And the other area where we contributed is they needed topsoil. I don't know which part of the course, but they borrowed, technically, a lot of topsoil, and that worked out very well as well. So it was just a great association from the get-go.
Well, you're a gentleman in the transaction. We have one further question. Before we closed, there was some crop growing there, and it was identified as marijuana, we believe, on your property. After we closed, it had been harvested, so there's a question outstanding. What do you know about the marijuana?
I only heard about that afterwards, but I'm quite sure the marijuana crop was considerably more valuable than corn, wheat, or soybeans.
Well, to stay in the grain business, thank you very much for your contribution.
Congratulations to the club.
So here we are.
Yeah,
We're with
happy
Richard.
anniversary.
Thank you, Richard. We're delighted to be with you. It is the 20th anniversary of the golf course. Can you imagine? Have you played that golf course?
Yes, I did, and I lost many golf balls there.
Well, anyway, hopefully there's a recovery process. Richard was our architect, and we were most fortunate to have him. One of our objectives at the beginning was to have a country family home, but in conjunction with a golf clubhouse, and that's what we got. I'm in Richard's office right now, and we can just look, and maybe we can see there's the photo of the Granite Club right at the top. He didn't know I was coming, so it's been here.
It's been here since we've been in the building, so
anyway,
I face that with pride.
yeah. So with Dan McAllister and Paul Wepler, who are architects, they thoroughly enjoyed working with you. And do you have any fond memories of the project?
I was a little nervous because Dan was a professor at U of T where I was studying when I was a student, and when we had to go in front of him, I was quite nervous, but I remember some comforting words. He said, just let the architects be the architects. And then I felt comfortable. And again, we were always happy. This was our second clubhouse that we had ever designed. And I remember it was by competition. And we started off with a big rendering and kind of got the feel of the land. And that's what we felt made sense and felt good. It still looks great today. And I think we made the right decision. We were really honored and blessed that we got the project. And it was a great group to work with. It's still probably the best group we got to work with. Everyone was fun, jovial, serious at times, but we got to do our job properly, and that was really what got me interested in doing more clubhouse buildings.
One of Dan's comments earlier this morning was that one of the interesting features, or the challenging features, is that the clubhouse stood up on a hill and had 4 sides to it, and all of them had to be acceptable, presentable, architecturally good. And you did that. So what special techniques did you use?
We just treated it like a large home, basically on a corner. And then, we have to try to deal with the servicing, hide it as much as possible, and then just really take every elevation, treat the building really as a 4-sided building, lots of light, lots of view. It was all about the views at the time. And I remember the conservatory was really the money shot, if you will, trying to capture all the views around. And still, I remember coming up 18th, sitting up on the precipice, you always saw all the glass, and that was always the first comment when we were showing prospective clubs, that this is what it's about. It's what the golf immerses itself. It becomes part of the golf. It's not a building. It's really to bring the golf in, just the way we would do in a nice home, and that's what our objective was. And really, I didn't think it was that hard to do, but we had a great group that really understood the idea, and it was very successful.
Well, it was very effective, and we are most appreciative that you did it. And we are most appreciative that you sat down with us today, and thank you. Thank you very much,
Richard.
Richard.
Our pleasure, and again, continued success, and again, we are very happy and honored that we got to have the opportunity to work with such a great group, and it was really our pleasure.
Thank you.